Hey everybody, Fred McKinnon here with Ecom Catalyst. Today I want to get into some really advanced tactics when it comes to your Amazon advertising, your PPC pay-per-click advertising, and how you could be leaving hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of dollars in wasted ad spend on the table, even if your campaign metrics look fantastic, okay? It's one thing to see a campaign that's performing terribly with really bad ACoS numbers and really high TACoS numbers, but it's another thing to have a campaign that's really doing well and still discover that you're wasting thousands and thousands of dollars in ad spend. I'm gonna get into the nitty-gritty details of that here as we're auditing a PPC account to find this, and you'll be shocked at what I show you in this video, all right? So to back up again, my name's Fred McKinnon. I'm the founder and the owner of Ecom Catalyst at eComCatalyst.com. We're a full-service Amazon and e-commerce marketing company. I've personally been a seller for more than 20 years, over $100 million that I've sold or managed. And I've been on every marketplace there is, lots of marketplaces that don't even exist anymore. So Amazon, Walmart, was a founding launch partner on Jet.com, eBay, Newegg, Fair, Wayfair, I could go on, Etsy, the old Best Buy marketplace, things that don't even exist anymore, right? When it comes to direct consumer, we help with your Shopify store. I have Shopify stores, I've had BigCommerce stores, WooCommerce stores back in the day. I had Zencar and OS Commerce stores. So 20 plus years of experience, 20 plus years of getting knocked around on the job training, really learning this. That's why I created Ecom Catalyst, so that we could be a resource to help you. If you're a brand owner and you're trying to scale profitably or even launch on Amazon, other third-party marketplaces, direct to consumer, we can help. That's why we're here. So come to eComCatalyst.com. You can get a free consultation. You can reach out to us for an audit. We'd be happy to help. But I want to jump into this today. Now, forewarning, okay? This is going to get a little deep. This is not beginner stuff. So if you're running an Amazon account and you're a brand owner and you're doing Amazon advertising, okay, PPC, you really want to watch this. Even if you've outsourced this to a PPC agency like us or another agency, this is the kind of thing that as an owner, it's good for you to look under the hood, because the whole point of this video is to demonstrate how even really good looking campaigns still have thousands of dollars of wasted ad spend, okay? Now, I want to cover a few little basics before we go any further, all right? Let's talk about a few things that we discussed when it comes to Amazon PPC pay-per-click advertising. There are two metrics that we often use when it comes to setting up campaigns and monitoring the results, okay? Number one is ACoS, A-C-O-S. It's an acronym that stands for Advertising Cost of Sales, all right? What that means is you take the amount of dollars you've spent in advertising, you divide that into the amount of sales that were a direct result of that advertising. We call that attributed sales, all right? So if I spent $100 in ads and I have $1,000 in sales that are attributed to those ads, that's the math that I would use, divided 10 into 1,000, all right? That is ACoS. Here's where ACoS comes in handy when you're building PPC campaigns. You want to know what your budget is before your advertising spend. So if you have a widget that you sell for $100, and let's say you're in a category where Amazon takes 15%. So right off the top of your 100, you lose 15. So now you have $85, all right? And then let's say that Amazon charges $10 all in to fulfill and store that. Storage fees, FBA fees, another 10. So we were at $100, then minus 15% for Amazon, we're at 85. Now we just take out 10 more dollars and we're at $75 now, all right? Now we're gonna say that that widget costs us $50 to manufacture, okay? COGS, cost of goods sold, C-O-G-S, cost of goods sold, $50, all right? So we take our 100, Amazon gets their 15, then there's another 10 in fulfillment and storage fees, and there's another 50 in manufactured cost of the product. That leaves us with $25. Out of 100, that would be 25% margin before PPC, okay? So knowing that, I know that if my advertising cost of sale is at 25% or less, then I'm still either breaking even or I'm profitable on the attributed sales that are a result of the ads. Meanwhile, organic sales, that's sales that happen not as a result of the ads. So you just type in a search term for your widget and you don't click on an ad. You find it pretty easily and you click and you buy it. That's a conversion, that's a sale. That's what we call an organic sale, all right? So we have ACoS, advertising cost of sale, which is the ad spend divided into the attributed sales that are a direct result of that click from the ad coming and buying. And then we have total ACOS. The acronym for that one's great. It's TACOS, or tacos for short. All right, everybody loves tacos. Tacos is when you take the advertising spend and you divide it into the total revenue, okay? Attributed sales and organic sales combined, all right? So those two metrics are ones that we like to utilize when we're looking at advertising campaigns. And so you might have a campaign that looks really, really, really good on the surface, okay? Now, I wanna show you an example. On this video, I just want to let you know, I'm gonna hit pause, switch screens, hit pause, switch screens, because there's confidential stuff that I gotta make sure is zoomed out and blurred out and everything else. So bear with me, all right? Because this is actually an audit we're doing on an account and I don't want to reveal too much information there. So I'm gonna hit pause real quick and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay, so here we go. I'm zoomed in on to several campaigns here, and these are actually collections of campaigns. These are segments of campaigns. And so at the very top here, you'll see I'm actually in Perpetua software. If this doesn't look like Campaign Center, it's very similar in Campaign Center in Amazon. For me, I'm currently in Perpetua, so it may look different to you. But at the top here, you see B, CA, and CO. B stands for branded. That is a segment of multiple campaigns that are all segmented by the brand name, okay? So it has its own budget, it has its own target ACOS percentages that the AI uses, but it's only having campaigns that involve the brand name, all right? So any kind of generic keywords that have to do with the product that don't have the brand name in them, they're not in these segments, okay? CA stands for category. That is any of the keywords or product ASIN targeting that are not with a brand name or a competitor name. And then CO down at the bottom is competitor. Now, it's always good strategy to segment out your advertising campaigns that way, especially if you're an established brand or if you're going against specific competitors, so that you can have individual budgets and ACOS targets and bid selection targets and placements for what you're trying to do on branded search versus competitor search versus just your generic category. Now, on the surface, these top three aggregated together have a really good ACOS. As you can see, our branded search has a 17.5% ACOS. That is what I described earlier. We took a $37,000 ad spend, divided into $213,000 in attributed sales, well over $1 million of total sales here on this, okay? So, but that's 17.5%. Branded is usually gonna be your lowest ACOS because it's a branded search term. That means it's a very likely buyer who is searching for your product already by brand name. Category, 26.7%. Competitor usually is gonna be a higher ACOS because you're actively trying to win business away from a competitor. So if I want to buy a Ford truck and I Google Ford F-150, but a Chevrolet ad shows up, well, I might go, wow, I actually like the way that Chevy looks, and click on it and eventually buy. I'm not buying on Google ads for that truck, of course, but that's going to be way less likely, right? If I'm searching for a Ford F-150 truck accessory, when I find a Ford accessory that's branded search, I'm more likely to buy that. That's going to be a better return on investment than the competitor. But on this particular example, and you can see all the way down here, some of them start getting a little bit higher, but as far as what our target metrics are, they're really good. My target ACOS here is 25% and I'm hitting 17.5. My target ACOS here is 35%. My ACOS is always going to be higher on generic category type keywords and on competitor keywords. That's my target, but I'm less than my target. So that's a really good thing. All right. But with every single one of these, every campaign that you run on Amazon, the ads have the ability to display in what we call placements. And that is what this video really wants to center on, is your ad placement. When you look at those stats that I just show you right over here, and you think, man, I'm going to take a quick glance, and other than maybe looking for a few keywords that are spending more than they should, I'm really happy with these numbers here. And because I'm really happy with these numbers here, I'm going to move on. But if you neglect to look at placement, that is where the wasted ad spend can really get out of control. All right. So let me hit the pause button again, pull up a whole nother screenshot that I can give you, and hopefully that will be good enough to show you exactly a little bit of what I mean. Okay, so we're back in now. And as I said, there are 3 different placements. There's top of search, rest of search, and product pages. So anytime that you're doing ads, you have any of these 3 placements: top of search on the first page, rest of search, and product page. Now, so top of search is what everybody thinks of. On top of search, you think you search for your search term and your ad shows up at the top. We often call top of search TOS for top of search. And then on the search page in different places, not at the top there on page 1, but throughout the search results, there's other places your ad can be shown. That's rest of search. And then finally, when you actually are viewing a product page, on the product page, there's also ad placements. Okay, so they go across all 3. Like I said, like you think about when you run a meta ad on Facebook, for example, and you launch an ad, and by default, it usually slings your ad in every possible placement. And there's so many placements. And a lot of times one does way better than the others, right? Like your news feed does really, really well, but the little right sidebar does terrible. If you don't control that, you're going to waste a lot of ad spend. In the same way, you're going to waste ad spend when you don't really pay attention to top of search, rest of search, and product pages. Okay, that is where we want to dig into. And I'm going to show you how, even though this campaign looked really, really great from an ACOS and a TACOS perspective, everything looked great. I'm going to show you some pretty crazy wasted ad spend and how we can address it right here. Okay. All right, I'm into the actual campaign center in Amazon, so this may look familiar to you. All right, and what I want you to see here, and I haven't zoomed in to kind of cover up some of the information that I don't want seen, but you can sort of see on the left, top of search, first page, and then this middle row is rest of search, and then product pages. And this is one aspect of the campaign. Okay, it's the manual campaign, which is the category one. This is where I'm throwing in all my non-branded and non-competitor keywords, and we see a nice ACOS of 26% here. All right, so we did $34,000 to generate $132,000 in sales. Rest of search, $4,000 in spend to get $16K in sales. That's a little higher, 28%. But then look down here, $5,000, $5,000 of our ad spend in this campaign went to various product pages. And even though we did get 476 orders from clicks on those product pages, it only generated $9,480 in sale, or an ACOS of 52.8%. All right, so that's really, really high. And you remember that ACOS calculation on that particular segment of that placement of the ad. I'm taking my ad spend, $5,006 divided by attributed sales, $9,481, 52.8%. All right, so this is wasted ad spend. All right, and we see that even though we're getting orders, the conversion off the product page is really nowhere near as good as top of search. So what I want to do, I can't completely just negate the ad showing there, but I can take my budget, which is $213.75 per day. And that budget right now is being spent equally, across. It's kind of, Amazon will sort of decide it, but I can control that by coming into the bid adjustment. Bid adjustment, as you can see here on the page, when you say bid adjustment, apply different bids by placing and entering a percentage increase to your default bid. These adjustments will apply on all bids in the campaign. Okay, so what we've got going on right now is the ability to say, hey, I want to push a higher bid in this particular placement, and by doing so, I'm going to force more of my budget, more of my spend and clicks into this area away from the other. So for example, I might want to come into here and I might want to do a 50% increase in my bids on top of search. So now a dollar bid will be $1.50. And maybe I want to do a 30% bid increase on rest of search, but I'm not going to do any kind of increase on product pages. Matter of fact, I'd like to just go negative, right? But it won't let you save that. I mean, if you save that, it resets to 0. So it's not really anything you can do there. But by doing this, now I'm putting a bid multiplier at top of search, and I'm putting a bid multiplier on rest of search, so that out of my budget, I'm going to be paying more per click to try to get more of that ad spend where it converts the best. All right, let's take a look at another. All right, so I've just pulled up a different one, okay? This is what's called branded manual, right? This is within the same group, one campaign within one of those segments. This is coming out of the branded segment. And this is branded keywords, right? So I'm seeing that when I'm using my branded keywords campaign, look at the difference here, right? I've spent almost $65,000 to generate $373,000 in sales. That's a 17% ACoS. Okay. I've spent $2,000 to get 15. That's 18% off. But down here on product pages, now granted, I haven't spent as much. I've only spent $5,000 to generate $7,000. So that's a 72.75% ACoS, right? Granted, 381 orders is nothing to shrug your shoulders over, right? You can see here 381 orders, but it's nothing like 18,433. Now, let me say this. The Amazon algorithm or your PPC software's algorithm should account for this and should automatically kind of manipulate how they're doing this, because clearly the bulk of our budget is already being spent on TOS, top of search, first page. But if I want to have stricter control over that, and I know I'd rather just not be allowing this bid here to do much, I can do the same thing I did before. I can come in and I can say, hey, looks like you could even say 100%. I'm going to double my bid for top of search, and I'm going to at least half my bid on rest of search. Okay. And then I'm not going to modify my product page because whatever's left is going to be there. It's not converting as great. But right now I am trying to push way more of my budget away from this. So I won't say that this $5,000 here was completely wasted ad spend. It generated sales, but it generated sales that I lost money on, right? Because my margin certainly is not 72.75% on this product. So by adjusting the bid adjustments at the placement level, that is where you really make the difference. So at the end of the day, the warning here, watching the video, is that even if your metrics look good, you need to dig deep into your ad placement settings, all right? Don't trust the software to always manage that for you automatically. Overall, the campaign can look really, really good, but imagine how much better that would look if I were taking away from those product pages. Now, I will also say that in many cases, TOS is going to be your best performer. In most cases, top of search, that's going to be your best performing bid placement, all right? Rest of search will be second, but I have seen many outliers where, for whatever reason, on one particular campaign, the product page really generates great sales and really generates significant revenue at a great ACoS. So I would be doing it the other way around. I'd be saying, hey, I'm going to really push my bid on product sales. One area you can do that is in competitors, right? So on competitor campaigns where you're bidding against competitor brand names, or you're competing against competitor ASINs. I call that PAT, product ASIN targeting. Sometimes you can really put a bid multiplier up on that product page to really make sure that you're the one who's owning any additional ad locations on your competitor product pages. All right, doing this is going to take already good campaigns and save you a lot of money. Yes, it's just going to increase the bid and spend more money in this one area, but it's going to do it way more profitably for you. All right, so don't do that. I hope this helps. Look, I don't often go deep into the weeds like this, especially on PPC. So I'd love to know if this was helpful for you. It's a longer video, it has a lot of analytical things in it, but I think that it will help you. At the end of the day, look at your bid placements, look at your ad placements, okay? Where are they? What are the multipliers? Do you have multipliers? If not, why? See where you're wasting money. All right, I end every video thanking you. Look, I'm on YouTube. I look at YouTube. I look at all the podcasts that are on all the e-commerce podcasts, and I know there's a bazillion people you can listen to that you can give your time to, and you've watched or listened to my content. For that, I'm grateful here at Ecom Catalyst. Hey, how about rewarding us by hitting that subscribe button? If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Click the little bell to be notified. Also visit eComCatalyst.com. Jump over there, man. There's a pop-up on the homepage. You should not get bombarded with it. It shows up once. If you X out of it, it shouldn't bother you again. But opt into our email newsletter. It's something I'm just starting here in the fall of 2024. On Fridays, I'm going to send out a bullet list email of all the things that I'm seeing, both as a store owner and as an agency owner who networks across the world with other 7, 8, 10-figure sellers and agency owners. owners. All right. So I kind of see everything that's happening. I'm in constant communication with software providers. That is just a valuable email that I can send out to you once a week on Friday. Check that out. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you soon.